How to stop being broke when you're broke. You have so many goals for your life, but your bank account tells you there is no hope. Listen, if you've ever been broke, now is the ideal moment to watch this video so that we can help you get out of that mindset and right into one that can set you free from the bonds of being broke. I could repeat the same thing over and over again for the next 10 hours, and I'll keep hoping and praying that it will ultimately have an impact on you. You manifest what you think about the most, or to put it another way, what you concentrate on grows. The issue with being broke is that you can be both broke and impoverished at the same time. One is a mindset, and the other is the state of your financial account. But once you're split apart like this, you risk falling into a rut where you come back time and time again to the same place because that's what you're focusing on. You wonder 10 years later why you're still so far behind when you try to acquire better jobs or a raise because you're focused on bills, not having enough money, how you've already spent it, and how you're behind. I've got some bad news for you since what you think about grows. And if you have a broke mindset, that's because you're concentrating on the thing you least desire. You must pay attention to your bills because if you don't, you'll simply dig yourself deeper and deeper into debt. However, how you feel about your bills will determine whether they are simple to pay and help you go ahead and whether they merely serve to keep you in debt. As long as you maintain the same focus, you will continue to engage in the same spending habits. If you don't alter your thinking, your finances won't change, and unless you do, you'll always be able to see what happens in your bank account. Your world, the ether, and everything made up of it are all formed of energy. Thus, if you don't face this truth, you can't change it. This is going to sound woohoo for a second, but listen. This couch right here contains atoms that vibrate at a certain frequency. Just like every other object in this house and every image you see on a screen. In fact, even I, who share the same frequency as every other atom on the globe, vibrate. You've probably heard the term quantum physics at some point. Everything is energy. And we are understanding our universe scientifically on the most fundamental level, based on a theory and a philosophy that is currently demonstrating this to be true. Given that this is the case, what energy are you emitting by being broke, destitute, or preoccupied with bills? If you're like the folks I encounter quite frequently, you have bills which constitute your physical reality, and you're matching it with a mental reality that only serves to plunge you steadily deeper and deeper into sadness, depression. You may be self-medicating with food, drugs, pornography, or other things to avoid facing the horrible, awful reality that every time you or your spouse go to the mailbox, you're waiting for the call, text, or message that says, "You're behind and you've got to figure out a way to pay this thing and it's consuming you." That's the reality you have to face, and we're going to discuss how you can change it right now. You don't need any practical advice at this time. You need a fresh mental frame if you are suffering with being broke. So let me talk about that for a second. It's conceivable to have equal levels of happiness when all of your bills are paid. You're ahead financially and have everything you desire, as well as equal levels of happiness when you're not falling behind on your financial obligations and scrambling to find food. I'm aware that sounds like a ridiculous stretch. How is it possible to feel cheerful in either situation exactly? If your connection with money is conditional, it would go something like this. I'm happy when I have money. I'm not when I don't. Right now, I'll tell you that mindset stinks and needs to be changed. This is what breaks the psyche and makes you broke. Instead, try embracing a minimalist perspective or being more like a vagabond. A vagabond is a person who travels extensively on a shoestring budget, lives for exploration, and can spend weeks or months traveling non-stop without the comforts of home. Our civilization is currently living in incredible luxury, and minimalism is the philosophy that asks, what do you really need to be happy? Is what you need determined by what is around you? Is it determined by the vehicle you drive, or the stuff you possess, or the property you reside in, or the destinations you can take a trip to? I'm shocked by how simple it is for so many individuals to discover the deep joy they're looking for without having to worry about money. With this broke mindset mentality, there is a keeping up with the Joneses issue that needs to be changed and rectified. Hold yourself for a moment. Brother, sister, I came from poverty. If you were to start arguing with me like, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm so triggered. I'm so outraged right now. I have experience with having significant debt. Just sit back and listen because I understand what it's like to have a broken financial mindset. Instead of concentrating on paying your debts, you should start paying yourself first. Second, start a rainy day fund even if you don't have any money for it. I know you can do it. Just wander around the neighborhood and you'll probably find a few quarters lying about. People are living extravagant lifestyles that are much above their means. What skill sets are required to produce money? That is where you want to focus your attention on what you can do to create riches and provide value instead of expending energy on excuses like, we don't have enough, we're broke, I need more, the world owes me, and I'm not getting it. Put an end to your Netflix subscription. Cancel Netflix. The most crucial lesson you should take away from this is that being broke and being poor are not the same thing. You need that money. You should keep looking for new ways to add value, and you can still be confident even when you're broke. Poor is a transitory financial situation that can become permanent if you don't learn how to control your thoughts, while being broke is a mental state. Enter a state of genuine gratitude. Do you understand how I can be certain that you have what you need? You must have a phone, computer, or internet access if you're watching this video. You're probably not naked right now if you look in the mirror, are you? You have clothing, which is miraculous, and you are breathing, which indicates that you have been fed and are presumably not living on the streets. Friends, you already rank among the world's wealthiest individuals. Step away from the mentality that says more. It's the ego's motto, and it wants a need for things it doesn't have. Can you recognize for a minute that you are wealthier than monarchs from history? Are you in a position to acknowledge how incredibly privileged you are? Release yourself from the mental shackles of bills, broke, behind, can't, never going to make it, not enough, failing everyone. I'm telling you right now that you can join me and find out just how pleasant life is with or without those things. Those are your choices. They don't depend on your financial situation. Rather, they depend on the decisions you make. Avoid being broke at all costs. It's an option and a terrible decision, much like my saying. I sincerely hope you all liked today's video. Please subscribe so I may share more of these videos with you if you'd want to see more of them.